Hello everyone, Darko 2012 here with Global Government News, and I'm covering another ridiculous article coming out of the Australian news website. I mean, this is crazy. Australian news, they have some wacky stories. This one is title is under the world part, and it says French air passenger jailed in Abu Dhabi for bomb joke. And reading into this story, I came to learn that you know that this man was basically taken off a plane and arrested because there was a pack of cigarettes next to him in an empty seat, and he joked around. It's like, "Oh my God, it's a bomb!" Like not really loud, but just kind of joking with somebody else. Somebody overheard him, and he was taken off the plane and arrested. Let me read this. A 66-year-old Frenchman, I think he was an executive, something was a pensioner or something like that. So he was a white-collar worker. 66-year-old Frenchman has been jailed in Abu Dhabi after making a bomb joke on a plane. The French foreign minister said today. Pensioner Jean-Louis Lioret, who was flying to Bangkok from Paris on Etihad Airways, was arrested after cabin crew overheard him using the word bomb in exchange with his co-passenger. His brother, Michel Lioret, said. During a stopover in Abu Dhabi, Lioret's neighbour asked him to keep a packet on the other seat next to him as it was empty. Lioret's jocular, "I hope it's not a bomb," was overheard and set off alarm bells. He was taken off the plane and grilled by police and then jailed. He was also informed that the packet contained cigarettes and not a bomb. I like how they threw that in there. He was informed that it was cigarettes and not a bomb. The French Foreign Ministry said it was informed of the arrest and was following the case closely. So he didn't even get to make it to Bangkok from Paris, all because of a joke. And so I guess the biggest reason why I'm covering this story is because it kind of just shows the ridiculousness uh, and the selective enforcement of this security system, this airport security and terrorism prevention, and that how it is used. Whether these people are just following protocol, that's what they're supposed to do. But at the same time, uh, it's crazy because everybody knows. Everybody kind of knows just because it's because of the 80s and the rise in terrorism in the 80s and that um, about not saying bomb on a plane, like not saying fire in a theater. But it's kind of crazy though, really, how they treat people like that. Just the like I my biggest case for it is because the majority of the time it's just normal people that have to, you know, we got to live through all this. We got to go through all these security measures going to the airport, and then we're on the plane. We can't go to the bathroom an hour before the flight lands. We can't have laptops. No iPods. You have to keep your table up and seats up, and no talking. It's just like it's pretty crazy how it's become, all in the name of safety, and it's just like you can't even joke at all. You got people listening to your conversations. That just shows you. It's just snitching at each other out, and a regular probably a Caucasian most likely, but I don't know for sure. But an executive looking guy and cracking a joke with his brother, and and why was he joking like that? Because of how ridiculous it is now, flying and traveling and going through all the security measures. It's so ridiculous that this guy was making a joke about it, and then he himself, you know, gets arrested for it, right? So, knowing that the war on terror is a big effing sham, um, that's what just drives me nuts is that they arrest people that are either they're patsies, they're all drugged up, and when they carry out these fake terrorist attacks, these feeble attempts, and and yet the burden is transferred on to the ordinary citizen who just wants to get from point A to point B. We got to live through this. We got to have our children now going through getting their naked bodies, having pictures taken of in the airport, and then they're going to be saved on to these scanners that, Michael Chertoff, Department of Homeland Security, the former secretary, he has a vested interest in pushing these scanners, and they do save the images, and they will be used, because they will go to a database to be stored. Of course, they're going to store them, but yeah, they're going to be brought up and they're going to be used in a database to identify you from a distance. From a distance. So and next time you travel, say if you're traveling to the UK or you're traveling somewhere in a city, and they got all those street cameras now, they'll be able to identify you by your biometrics. So once you go through that scan, that's it. That's what I'm getting at. It's just totally crazy that someone gets arrested for something like this. But then again, it's not crazy because we're living in a crazy ass world where shit like this happens. So, for the most part, I guess the lesson learned from this is if you don't want to be treated like a slave and you want to, for the most part, be able to say what you want to say, be willing to pay the price. Because otherwise, you got to shut up, stay in line, and act like a tool bag, all in the name of keeping yourself safe. So you can live a nice, long, bland, boring life, right? So that's my take on this. And leave your comments. Kind of a short story, but